Do you want to talk about Britney a little bit?
Yeah, I do because so I have two things.
Okay.
The newest video, the boat video, right? In the green bikini. So it was posted yesterday and then it was posted again sometime tonight. I don't know exactly what time it was. So I remember I texted you when I woke up and I was saying in yesterday's it had to be so heavily filtered because the foot tattoo wasn't there. But then you had showed me that it's there, but barely visible. It's almost like she's wearing full body makeup, like, but it's a filter. I don't understand filters that well. I don't. But to me, I was like, the tattoos that are supposed to be there
Did you
aren't.
did you see the pictures I sent you this
Yeah,
morning?
yeah, and you can faintly see the foot
Barely.
tattoo, barely. But what gets me is the back tattoo is so prominent.
That newest video, I
Right.
slowed it down and I saw a bunch of blurring down by the bottom of her feet.
Yeah, and the one screenshot you sent me, I did see it, but it's so weird. I think my brain is trained to just look for, the Britney signs, and it was just so strange though because that back tattoo is almost like it was enhanced and made darker, but the foot tattoos are hardly seen, and then the two on her front, the hips, like the left and right ones, like that are at like her bottom line. Um, they go in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, yeah, that's the video I'm talking about.
Yep.
But the second point that I want to talk about, it has nothing to do with Britney
Okay.
whatsoever. And like I've been trying to, like when I was talking to you before, like I'm trying. I don't like to get sad at this stuff anymore. I try to find the bright side, right?
Yeah.
What cracks me up is I'm assuming that they chartered this boat, right?
Yeah.
The worker on the back of the
Oh,
boat.
yes.
This is what's cracking me up. You can tell it's almost like when I'm in work and I'm clock watching like the last half hour and I just want to go home and I don't want to be there anymore. This guy has such a look of I just want to be done with my shift, and I'm saying to myself, but you're on a boat with
With Britney.
Britney Spears. I would be saying to the people with her, does she want to stay on a couple more hours? Because I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
But look at him in the background.
I know.
Could care less. And I'm sure they're told, like, don't interact unless they interact with you. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's the professionalism of it. But he just cracked me up because even in the same cut of the video yesterday, he just it
I mean,
doesn't phase him one bit. And I'm guessing they're there for insurance policies because it looks like towards the back of the boat, there's probably a little spot where you can get on and off into the water and stuff. So I'm assuming that maybe they have to have someone positioned there, especially since she was dancing and spinning so close to the back.
right.
But I, he's just like, get me
I
off.
know. I read that video of her in the green bikini, the back, see how detective-ish everybody is. The back of the guy's shirt, it was from a charter boat that is in Turks and Caicos. And she went back there, and she was back there last
Oh.
September or August before her book was released. I know we've had this conversation before, and I know we've got a lot of things, but I believe that there is some kind of contract between Britney's team
Mhm.
and Cabo.
There could be. There very well could because you can do like those like you can own a spot in those places, and
Mhm.
you like I was telling you, you can have like an owner's closet type thing where you'll lock it all up and no one else can touch that, but they will let other people stay in that unit per se when
Yeah.
when you're not there.
Would they let somebody stay there
See,
if it
that's
was
what I don't
Britney's
know. Like,
place?
yeah, that's what I don't know with a celebrity. I know they do that for like because my cousin owned in still owns in Cabo, and when she's not there, she has the owner's closet that she locks her stuff in. But other vacationers can go and they use that room, when she's not
Right.
there. So, and there's a contract, like whatever contract she signed, I know that there's, you're very aware that that's what's happening. And I don't think you get anything for it, but, or like if you rent out vacation points, I don't know how that works, but I've been there. Cabo's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's the Instagram the past 2 weeks. I feel like there's a push and pull. There's a push and pull. Like she's trying to say stuff, someone's taking it down, or if people don't believe that it's Britney, they're making it look like there's a power struggle behind the scenes or whoever's posting. Like, I don't like to necessarily say like, oh yeah, it's definitely her. Oh yeah, it's definitely not her, because I mean, look what you suffered in the community just recently. People are persecuting everybody for their own personal views. Like, so it's whatever you believe, but whatever side you fall on, you can't deny that between the captions, now the wording's different, the spelling, the A and D and the N, like it's either an actual struggle going on behind the scenes or a fictional struggle that they're trying to make us think is going on. I don't know, because it's been weird. Like, sometimes she pours her heart out, and then sometimes it's I don't know.
And we had a little discrepancy with someone,
Yeah.
but I did talk to that someone, and I did say I do believe that there's something weird or wrong going on with Britney, and I do believe she hasn't got her justice. But I am torn between what I see and what I can't make up my decision completely. I said to him, I said, listen, one thing I don't like to be told is told what I can and cannot say. And I said, I do believe there's something going on, and I definitely obviously know she hasn't been, she hasn't had her justice. It literally was like, here's what we can do for you, and all these people are going to get away scotch free, but we'll get you out of it. But it just seems like there's some kind of like, I, I don't know. I
No,
just,
I'm there with you. I'm trying to think of the best analogy. Like, all right, tomorrow's Star Wars Day, right? May the
mhm.
4th. Happy May the 4th. One of my favorite nerdy holidays. In Star Wars, you have the dark side, the light side, but then you have a gray Jedi, and the gray Jedi lives in the middle, and
Mhm.
the gray Jedi has some dark practices and has some light practices. Like, they don't commit. And a lot of times, like, that's with me. Like, when I'm on one side of believing what I think is going on based on what they're throwing out in our faces via the Instagram, or whether it's news articles and stuff like that,
Yeah.
then something comes and just turns it all, and it does a complete 180, and it makes me like I'm comfortable hanging out in the middle, because it's the one thing that I think everyone can say is there's not a single person on social media that's not connected to her that has a clue as to what's really going on. No one does. And that's when I get mad, when I know a lot of people say everyone's allowed to stick by your opinion, but I wish people would be more upfront and say, this is what I believe, but we don't really truly know. You know what I'm saying?
I just really wish that some people wouldn't get so hateful. It's really
That's the problem.
disheartening. Um, because it could be a whole slew of things, and if you talk about one thing but not about the other, especially when it comes to my platform here, then I feel like I'm leaving things out and only telling people
Yeah.
what I think when I'm talking about everything. So I feel like it's a little unfair when I have grown so much to just talk about everything that's going out and about. And whether it's hurtful to people, I get it, but I think that when I talked about certain things, I, I was never mean with it.
No, I would never say that you were mean with it. I would say that you do honest honest reporting. You have your opinions mixed in there, but you don't dip to a side that is going to be considered disrespectful to her. And I mean, even you don't really disrespect others that come at you either. You try in a different way. I mean, I've been fortunate. I haven't had as many. I had one bad one. It was a branch off of what you just experienced. Um, and I'm not at a place with it that you are, but it's just sad. It's sad when the attacks happen, and you know, it's just sad.
I just believe it's a dibble dabble of a bunch of things. I do believe there's somewhat of control there of where she can't make choices. I still believe there's a push pull on her Instagram. No, she hasn't got her justice. That conservatorship ending was nothing. There's been a
No,
decline in what we're seeing and how she's behaving, whether it's her or not her. Is it her or is it somebody making her do this? I don't know. But the thing is, the truth is, things do need to be looked into. I hate this, but Britney, I don't think there's ever going to be another human being that has been through what Britney's been through.
no,
It's a phenomenon, and had we had the access to the things we do now back then, what she sat and went through wouldn't have happened. I mean,
no, no. Because I was even just thinking about being a Britney fan over all the years, and then if you look at the artists today that are still active, not saying that she's not. We know that she's on her break that she's been
mhm,
telling everybody. But like she went through her entire career and the height of a bunch of stuff without the social media power that's
mhm,
existing now. Because there are artists who get on social media platforms and they will talk directly and stuff. And the thing I go back to before this platform, there was the IG platform, and
mhm,
she was under the conservatorship when IG was created. So she didn't make her own account. She didn't make so it's social media, the age of social media that we know it today, she never got to freely experience because it didn't come about at the
mhm.
time, of those portions of her career and stuff. So, in the beginning, when her IG would get, when it would go left or right, if you know what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to use words, when it would be like, oh, it's pretty, and then you would see a video, you're like, ooh.
So,
I would always say, okay, she's new to this. Like
yeah.
she doesn't really have the social media experience where she had on her own and stuff. It's so hard because I think when it boils down to it's, I try not to look at her as the princess of pop. Like she's a person.
Mhm.
She is a human being. She's a mother. She's a daughter. She's a friend. She's everything that you and I and everyone in the chat is. And it's just sad to see that the basics that we probably take for granted were taken from her. That's the part that gets me, the whole human aspect of it. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm. When they placed her into a conservatorship, I was on one website and there's a gap between 2008 and 2010. Like there's no news about her whatsoever. And all of a sudden, it pops up like 2010 where she's been in this conservatorship for a year and a half or whatever, and she's out shopping for a car and they're like, but she's going to have to ask her dad for it because she doesn't have access to her whatever, and she gets so what I'm trying to say is like I'm just looking back, and in the beginning of her conservatorship years she had a lot more freedoms, like she was walking around
yeah,
going places and doing things, and then every year I just feel like it got stricter and stricter and stricter for her,
it
and I think
did.
that's when it just blew up the last couple years because she was just fed up, you know.
Yeah, she doesn't have the social media presence that she had, or the media presence and coverage in the news that she did when she was still in the conservatorship. She doesn't have the. If you go back to when she made the announcement where she thanked her fans, you guys did this for me, and she said she was free and everything, right? People still debate that, but I'm just going back to a video that was posted on her account. When you go back and watch before that date, the Instagram and her social media presence was different. It's it's very different now. It's just hard not to notice those things.
I don't know why the quality is so bad.
That's what I don't get. I don't get whether sometimes is it the camera, is it a filter they put on? Because if you look at the schoolgirl one where she's dancing in, I'm guessing the kitchen because it looks like a fridge and a table behind her, it's
Mm-hmm.
so dark. Like I was like, does she have the lights on, lights off? Is it a filter? Is it the camera?
um I think she likes, if I'm to believe that it's her, I think she enjoys Mexico. She goes there a lot if there's not some kind of nefarious agreement between her and the team going to Cabo all the time. I just kind of expected her to be traveling all over. Like she'll talk about it in her in her things like I want to go here and I want to go there, or this reminds me of when I was there. And she said she went to Japan and stuff, but when the hell was she in Japan? You know what? If she was in Japan, people would have seen her in Japan. I
Yeah,
mean, she
yeah.
looks different than people in Japan. So you would have seen a blonde-haired girl walking
Walking
around with,
around Japan, you would
yeah,
have
and they
noticed.
would have said Britney Spears in Japan. Like, so all these places that she says she's not been. She keeps going to the same places.
Yeah. I do think though maybe she's a creature of habit, like
Maybe.
where you go to like the same. There's a lot of people that go to the same vacation destination, like once a year because they love it so much, or like maybe she does have her regular spots that she likes. For a while, I always thought Hawaii was her favorite spot, like but
Until somebody moved there and took
right,
away her
yeah,
happy
yeah,
place.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
though
yeah,
Hawaii's like three islands, they got Hawaii, Maui.
yeah.
So I don't exactly know where K-Fed is because I don't keep track on him like that. But
Yeah, no, a lot of people think when you say Hawaii, it's just one spot. It's not. It's
because I don't exactly know where Kevin Federline
moved
lives.
to, yeah. Hey, you hear that?
Oh my God.
That's my dog. He's feisty right now.
I just wish Jaden would truly get her the correct help and him and her work as a team together. See, Stephen, this is where I get torn because part of me thinks that she's being told what to do, when and where and how and why. And other part of me thinks that she's doing whatever the F she wants to do, whether it's not good for her or not. And the only way she is going to get help if she does need, see, this is where I can't please everybody. If she wants help, she's going to have to want it for herself.
Hmm.
But she doesn't trust anybody because they all effed her over. And sometimes I've thought that she's reverted back to like a childlike state. And it's just one of the thoughts I have because of the way she interacts and the way she talks with people from the very small handful of what I've seen.
I just always think too when it comes to her boys or celebrities, kids in general, that they too get a little bit of a scrutiny eye put on them. Um, I feel that the boys are still young, even though they reach that 18 years of age thing, and the world then considers you an adult and stuff. I mean, think about back when we were 18. You're still young, and you don't like. Yes, you can vote. Yes, you can do this. Yes, you can do that. But I still think it takes a while for things to sink in, and I don't know if them or anyone of that age, like looking at the situation as we know it, if they understand it fully. Did I say that in a way you get? Like it's not saying that
Well,
they should be doing more, they should be doing less, or if they're doing exactly what they should be doing.
well,
It's-
I'm happy that one's 18 and one's almost 19 and they haven't spoke out about their mom in
No,
a tell-all interview.
in today's day and age, money does talk, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they've been approached, and I'm sure stuff like that. So I mean, that's respectful in a sense that they have not done anything like that.
Earlier on, Roscoe asked in the chat if you think it was Brittany in her in the book, if it was her because it didn't feel like it. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, I can give my opinion on it. I I think there were pieces of her. I I don't know if it was her writing it down herself or telling a ghostwriter, but then there are pieces, and I'll bring this up specifically when she talks in the book about certain performances. She describes the costume she was wearing to an exact T. Like in one of the sections, it's almost like she describes it down to the last sequence that was jeweled on it. And to me, that read as someone else writing it and like thinking what she would say. Because I mean, if Brittany was talking about that, I don't know if she'd necessarily, besides the main iconic outfits, like speak about it. Like especially even in the part of the book where she was supposed to be announcing the Vegas residency and stuff. Remember, and she walked off the stage, and there was supposed to be a performance. There wasn't. It's when she finally stood up and she finally said no. the intro to that chapter, it's like I stood up there in my black dress with the white stars and the, but like, you know, on
Yeah, they
each
had to
side,
add
and like it
filler
just
words.
felt like someone was filler writing.
Hmm.
You know, and then there's the whole stolen journals thing. You know, you don't know if they were stolen, but
All
someone
those
found them
memories
and used
from.
that for the book. I just feel that I didn't find it as a bad book. I didn't. You know, I thought it was I finished it very, very quickly. It was a good read. Just part of my heart always thought that there was
More.
more she wanted to put, and there was, you know, I think they mentioned some stuff for fan service, like everyone was expecting Britney to talk about certain people who put her in the conservatorship and their not so nice ways. I think it was put in there very vaguely to
Hmm.
satisfy, but I don't know. Something makes me think after listening to those court hearings, those recordings of her, she would have said a lot more.
So to sum it all up, which I told you before, not too long ago, she got out of the conservatorship. She was writing on her Instagram. I believed it was her then. She started talking about her writing a book, that she was excited, but she had to go to a lot of therapy. All of a sudden, there was silence with the book, and we didn't hear anything. And then there was supposedly a paper shortage. Then Paris Hilton's book came out. So we're like, how the F can there be a paper shortage if
That
they
was,
just printed out Paris's book and everybody else's book? So then we
yeah.
start the thing, hashtag where's Britney's book? And I tell you what, not even 30 days later, there's news that Britney's book's coming out. There's also news that they cut like 25 to 30 pages of it.
Yeah, it was a big chunk of pages that was cut out.
And then you get that not only does she have one ghostwriter, but she had two, and she had three, at least three different ones. One was a man and two were women. And
Yeah.
that's why the book jumps from the flow of the book jumps, because you had several different ghostwriters in it.
Yes,
And then
and this was before the book dropped. And you remember also, I think there were stories planted in the media to distract us from our question asking when we noticed that there was 30 pages cut out, because they put a lot of focus on Justin Timberlake and Colin Farrell saying that they got their lawyers, they're afraid of what's going to be said. And but I think they were planted stories to get everybody looking at, like, you know, oh, there's juicy stuff coming out in this book.
that's what they wanted us to focus on, and I fell
Yes.
victim of that too. But
Hmm.
you know, and when she started, when they made, I swear to God, when they made her talk about the book, she did it like three times, and she wasn't happy about it.
Okay, guys, so I just got finished with my book. It's coming out very soon. I worked off for this book. I had a lot of therapy to get this book done. So you guys better like it. And if you don't, that's cool too. Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. I'm out of here. So, bye, guys. Hope you like the book.
At all. You were not proud of a book that you didn't want to put out there, or she was probably upset because what she wanted out there isn't out there.
She's never been photographed with it. If
Mm-hmm.
you go online for almost every celebrity memoir that
Yep.
they had a hand in writing, unless it was written after they passed, there are autographed copies on eBay of almost every celebrity's book that someone had a hold of, whether they sell it for charity, whether they sell it for auction, someone just has it and wants to make money. I've never seen anything that says there's a signed copy of her book out there.
Do you know what made me so mad? It's when Britney's book was being put out, and the CEO or the executive person of People magazine was on the Today Show
Speaking
to
as if it were her.
speak on Britney's behalf with the cover of
Ridiculous.
Britney's book behind her. And I was like, what in the F is going on?
And my
Why?
thing too is, if she was so proud of it as she was this, yes, she doesn't like being in front of the camera anymore. You can tell there's times when she didn't like being in front of the camera. She's not the most sit down and be interviewed celebrity out there, like, you know, and that's her
Mhm.
choice. But there was so much, like, that she could have done that she didn't if she was proud of it. Even that small little intro that you brought up before in the recording of it, if she didn't give a damn about this, why did she sit and do that? You know,
There's a
it doesn't make
speculation
sense.
that that could be AI
I
too.
know, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, and I don't shake my head anymore when fans fight with each other, because it's so everything is so twisted and convoluted that you can't blame someone for thinking one way or the other. Like, you can't these days because, people on both sides of the line have very good points for what they're talking about.
Well, let me clear something up. I'm not mad at anybody who thinks
No.
that behind the screen she might be wearing a skin mask or something like that, because at one point I thought so too. And I can believe that some of that is AI generated footage. Yes, and I can believe that there's doubles. The one thing that makes me so upset is when you will say one of your thoughts and they will get hateful with you and start being mean at you. And that's what I can't stand, because here I have been supporting and liking all these theories and thoughts out there. Then we don't really know 100% if this is true or not. We really don't.
Yeah, no,
I don't appreciate I don't like the hatefulness. I don't like when somebody comes and attacks you and calls you names because you think one way. That's not how we're supposed to.
No. Listen, you're
Oh
the face.
no! We just got a. Uh-oh!
I think you're being dragged center stage. You better cue your.
You gotta tell me a song. You gotta tell me a song.
I love the Cinderella, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Used to be a girlfriend and you know I did it well. Oh yes, you know it's true. You'd call me Cinderella, all you'd have to do was yell, and I'd be there for you. I'm sorry for running away like this. I'm sorry I've already made my wish. But Cinderella's got to go. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do tonight.
You're on key, girl. You're good. You're on key. You can tell. You can totally tell you were a musical theater kid.
Oh yeah, I was.
I was too. I just don't have the bravery that you have online.
Why?
I did a ton of shows, but it'll take a while.
Yeah, I don't like listening to the ones after the conservatorship. I do like Circus though. I love Circus.
I love Circus.
It's the one she was excited to do that because I gotta find out where we were told this, but she was told she would only be in the conservatorship for like a year. So she did the Circus tour. She did the Circus album. She did the music videos, and she put her heart and soul in it because she thought, if I do this, I can, be. But then they kept extending it. That conservatorship was not meant to be full time. It was meant to be temporary. And that's why she put so much of her heart in Circus. And I love Circus.
They did, it's going back like 6 years now. She was still in the conservatorship. They did a huge reunion down in Disney at the Magic Kingdom. They did a whole weekend of events. And I almost bought a ticket and went to it, but I couldn't get the time off of work. And there's a clip of her on some interview show. And someone says, if the Mickey Mouse Club ever did a reunion, would you return to go to the reunion? And she answered yes, that she would have, but she wasn't. She wasn't present at it.
We're coming up on that reunion.
Yes.
There, everybody's so much about everybody getting back together, having reboots. Could it ever happen?
It was a really good time.
Wasn't it?
It was a great time. It was probably one of the most special times in my life as a Mickey Mouse Club.
And getting everybody back together again?
Well, they would have to plan. I would definitely show up. I would go, definitely.
That said, it's undeniably her. And that's, if you scroll, go from 2022 December, where you are right now, and go all the way to present day, she's never wearing it again.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in for the last hour or so. And Gerard, enjoy the rest of your weekend where you are right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Love you, and
Love
we'll
you
see
too.
you later. Bye,
Absolutely,
guys.
I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.